Well, for you guys who don't know, I'm Josh. I'm the RME instructor here at Guitar Center. I teach a recording made easy class every Saturday morning. For you guys who don't know, we actually do sell the Macintosh computers here. We sell the iMacs and the MacBook Pros. So if you guys are looking to try to grab a Mac to get into GarageBand recording, we got them here. We can custom order them for you, get some extra specs in there. We just started carrying the new flat screen iMacs too that they just released a little while ago. So we can get those in for you as well. The heart of your studio nowadays is really the computer that you're driving the programs with. You're only as strong as your weakest link, as they say when you're building a computer. So
Max got it down.
Max got it down pretty good. Except for this one this morning. Yeah. Doesn't seem to want to get going.
Is it your network?
This isn't on a network.
It's not.
No, these are offline. Imagine how messed up these would be if they were online all day.
All your employees going on porn sites and downloading all that PD.
Come on now, man. Don't want to spend all this amount of money on some of the bigger software that's out there. Now GarageBand doesn't have some of the capability that these other softwares have, but for what it does a great job, and a lot of people use it to make songs. So when we open up GarageBand, we get this menu right away. Alright, what this menu is giving us is a bunch of templates. A template is just a preset bunch of tracks. Alright, so if I were to go with the piano one, I have a bunch of different piano tracks all pre-set up for me. Same thing with the guitar. The voice one, I have a bunch of voice tracks. Loop one will open a blank session, so you can just drag a bunch of loops in, create a song off a loop. You also have podcast and movie score templates here for if you wanted to go ahead and do a podcast or a movie, you know, work with a video, create sound, put music to it.
Can you pull the video right into GarageBand?
Yes, you can.
And watch
Yeah.
it? Okay. Does it go in on a track?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
The other one that we normally use for this class is going to be the songwriting template. The songwriting template is going to give you a wide variety of tracks: guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, I think a vocal track too, the whole 9 yards. So I'm just going to double click on that, and then I get this menu. Alright, so this menu is basically where I'm going to save it to. It's a good habit to get into when you save your stuff. I'm just going to zoom out just a little bit. I like making it so I have everything in a good hierarchy. That's a good thing to get into when you're saving your stuff. That way when you save it, all of it goes into the same folder and your computer ain't looking around to try to find the files that we're recording.
Organized.
It's very organized. It's nice to have it that way. So usually I'll go ahead and just make a new folder, like perhaps right in this folder, the Recording Made Easy folder on the desktop. I'll make a new folder and I'll call it RME Song 1, okay? Another habit I like to get into is use a date stamp with it. Today is the 2nd, so I'll go ahead and throw like space 03.02.13 so I know what day I worked on it. It's a good way to be like, alright, well, it's like last Friday we got together. You can go, and then you can see exactly what day you were working on it, so you can go and find it.
Do you keep versions?
Yeah, you can do that too. You can just save as when you save it. So that's a good idea to get into. I'm going to say create there. And then what I did there was I also pushed this little button, so I made it like zoom, make it easier to see where the file folders are going to. The other settings are very important as well. If I know the tempo of the song and I have an idea of the BPM I want to use, you can set the BPM right in the beginning. All these recording softwares default at 120. 120 is the default BPM. So I'm feeling a little spurky this morning. I want to do like 130. And then you can also choose your time signature. If you want to play in an odd meter, you can change that. Most of the GarageBand loops that you get with GarageBand are in 4/4 time signature. So if you want to go with the more odd meter, you can go to the Apple's. You can get the Apple loops. You can download them. They'll have more expansions for you. Now, another very important thing with GarageBand is you can check the key in the beginning of this. When I'm setting the template folder, I can choose the key of what I'm going to play in. Now this is important because when I choose this, it's going to change all the Apple loops inside this program to that key. So I gotta make sure that I know which key I'm going to be playing in. So I'm just going to say E, and then you can also change major or minor. Now this will change all the loops in GarageBand, so it's good to know which one you want to start on. From here we just click create. I'm going to zoom out a little bit.
Those are advertisements, right?
Desktop?
No, what are they? OmniSynth or whatever that was?
Yeah, they have all the products on the desktop, so they change all the time.
Okay.
Alright, so the songwriting template starts like this. I have this basic drum loop that was already put in here for that template. Now, just before we get into everything, I want to kind of go over the layout. This is our edit window where we can manipulate the audio inside of the program. I have my mini mixer section over here where I can have my mute buttons, which are the blue speakers with an X through it. I also have the solo headphones, allow me to solo. I have a panner here, that big circle there. And then my volume for the track is right here as well. This is our, basically it's kind of like an inspector bar. If you're using Cubase, Cubase has got an inspector for each track that you're on. Logic's the same way. So if I click on this, you'll see that the side menu actually changes for each track that I'm on. Okay. So I can go ahead and manipulate a bunch of stuff with the track here as well. So what I'm going to do real quick is kind of just get some sound into this program. So what we're going to do, we're going to create there's no electric guitar track on here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and you can do that too. Alright, so in GarageBand there's two different ways we can create a new track. I can go down to the bottom left here, click this plus sign, which will bring up this menu. Or I can cancel and go up to track and go to new track, which is apparently option command N as well. And you can see all the key commands are to the right of some of these commands too, so if you want to just use the key command, that's a third way to do it too.
It took me a while to figure out what that was.
Yeah, that goofy one?
For option?
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
Yeah. So that's a new track, so I'm going to just go click on new track, and then I get this message, or this window. Now it's asking me if I want to create a software instrument, a real instrument, or an electric guitar track. Alright, so if I choose software instrument, I'm using all the sounds that are built into GarageBand. All the different bass sounds, keyboard sounds. I have some, different sample guitar sounds in there as well, synths, whole 9 yards. That's going to be that. And then real instrument, where's my mouse? There's my mouse. Real instrument would be as if we're using a microphone. If we want to mic a guitar amp, mic a bass amp, mic a drum set or something, that's going to be a real instrument in. And then there's also electric guitar track. An electric guitar track is basically going to take the DI signal, or direct input, and plug it into all the different amp modeling inside of GarageBand so I can manipulate the sound really easily. So for the start up here, I'm just going to choose electric guitar track and say create. And boom. So here's my clean combo track. Let me move this thing out of the way. Okay, so with this track, I should have some input. So what we're going to do real quick is just take this guitar cable here, plug that into the front of this interface. We're going to get into interfaces and the whole signal flow right after we record a few tracks here. Any guitar player?
Yeah.
Anybody want to throw down?
No, go ahead. I'm watching.
Okay. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm feeling saucy.
Yeah, play a few licks.
Okay, so the cool thing about GarageBand is if I come down here real quick before we start tracking, this little menu is known as our transport bar. Alright, so I have all my rewind, fast forward, jump to beginning, play, record feature buttons right here on the bottom of this toolbar. Here's my main transport LED. I have a loop record, a metronome, and my master volume. The cool thing about GarageBand is I can actually look at the time. Oh my goodness! I can actually look at the time in the song that I'm at, or I can look at the measures that I'm at. Why does that jump around so finicky, man? I can also
your mouse speed is probably set high.
Yeah. We also have a tuner on here. No, it's just glitching out. I also have a project, so I can go in here and change the key. Remember in the beginning, we set that key in the beginning? I can also go ahead and change this if I need to. Now keep in mind, it's going to change all the loops that I'm working with, alright? The nice thing about all the recording software is I can change the key throughout the song. I'm kind of stuck with the key that I'm at in GarageBand. Alright, so I'm going to choose E still, 130, 4/4. And I think I can change the major or minor at the bottom here.
You can do key changes at certain points in the song.
Not in GarageBand. You can do it in like Logic, Pro Tools, all those. You can do that. I'm going to go back to tuner real quick and just make sure this one's real close to where I want to be at. I'm going to bring this mic gain up.
So how accurate is it?
It's supposed to be more accurate than that. I think this guitar's volume jack's jacked up. Good enough for rock and roll. Alright, so with GarageBand, whatever track I have selected is going to be the one that records. In other softwares, there'll be a recording button that I got to enable and allow me to start recording. With GarageBand, it's the ones that I have selected. So I'm going to select that clean combo track. I'm going to push this button right here to jump back to the beginning of the session, or you can push enter. We'll take you back to 0. I'm going to turn the metronome off because I already have a drum track on there. Metronome's going to give me that clicker if I need to click on there. So jump back to the beginning, and there's also...
You're going to monitor the drum track and play with it?
Yeah. Alright, there's also one other thing I want to do too. If I come up into, where is it here? Control. Underneath metronome, there's a count-in command I can enable too. That'll give me a pre-count click before I start actually playing the track and recording. So I'm going to just enable that. I'm going to just go ahead and push this record button. So that was a 4-bar in, okay. I also need to change one more thing real quick here. Command Z will undo whatever my last thing I did was. For some reason in preferences, GarageBand preferences, my audio output is not my interface, which it needs to be. That's why I'm not getting signal into the program.
The people have been playing with your toys.
You gotta play with my toys, man. Alright, so now it's loud. Good. Very nice. Alright, so I'm gonna go back to the beginning here. Jump back to the beginning, push enter, and I should have a 4 count in. Woo! That's too cranked up, too loud, man. Okay, back to the beginning. Command Z to undo that recording. Let's try this one more time. Holy crap, that sounds bad. That don't sound right.
Is it recording it?
I think these things are up too loud. That or these cables finally took a crap. Which could be that too.
That's an aisle 3.
No.
We sell them too.
It could be an IT10T error too. Alright, so that is definitely... Holy crap.
It's kind of nuts, though, huh?
That sounds horrid. Settings must got changed or something goofy.